Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant news and plenty to dive into today. After Sentinels' defeat to Optic Gaming just a couple of days ago, many have been criticising TenZ for his seeming inability to play any agent other than Jett. ShahZaM is, defending his teammates from these accusations. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel, on the verge of 10k now. Just love to see it. Firstly, Sentinels Yoru. These are, new rework gameplays. So, you guys saw the update that came in relatively soon. For example, the ultimate, as you can see right there, you can now cast your abilities while in the ultimate, which does seem pretty strong right at the end of the day. We've got, of course, like the decoy thing that goes down right here, that the player gets completely confused, but also the ultimate does seem rather good now that you can go into this, additional dimension, but also you can still use your flash and stuff like this. So, yeah, the poor lad right here that has to deal with this guy flying around and then gets flash mid-ultimate. So, who knows? So, it would be a surprise if after a massive buff like this, that it seems a lot of his abilities even seem very different, right? In theory, they're kind of the same, but it feels like a lot of them are just way better than they used to be now, or so much better that they even feel like a different agent at times. That yeah, I honestly think I'd be surprised if some people didn't give it a go and tried to make this viable, and TenZ seems to agree. I hope to see a Yoru Meta this patch. TenZ has definitely been hoping for it, so we'll see. This kind of ties into the discussion we're going to have in a few minutes here on what agents TenZ does use and potentially can use and would like to use. Maybe Yoru is one of them, right, if this update does come through as as powerful as we may expect it to be. This also, real quick, Team Finest looking to Andimasic, Kazakhstani player from the Counter-Strike days. He's going to join Team Finest. This is the full article on the roster they're running with right now, so definitely some roster changes going on behind the scenes, or, of course, becoming public as well. One of the ones that was in question is what's going on with Eccles, formerly of the 100 Thieves side. babybay, of course, in an interesting spot as well, but Eccles is a UK player coming over from the UK to the US, getting the visa sorted. It was a bit of a question what would happen there as a result of things. Before we discuss that, wanted to say this real quick, of course, with the very unfortunate circumstances happening in Ukraine. Angel, the in-game leader for FPX, does not find himself in a reasonable position to compete for the team, right, and certainly understandably so. So hopefully he stays safe and everything's okay for him. But look, understandably they're looking for a stand-in, right, for the short term, because the VCT in Europe has to continue at some point or another. They have to get the matches back underway. That there are some questions right now about what does that mean for, given some of these matches have been delayed in Europe, like what does that mean for the playoffs, right? What does that mean for Masters? Will that go ahead all as planned in Reykjavik? There are some questions right now being raised. So hopefully, I'm sure they're monitoring it. Hopefully things will work out. But, we'll see how things develop in the coming week or so, because not ideal right now at all. Let's talk about the Eccles situation then, because as George says, sources with Purist, former 100 Thieves in-game leader Eccles is among the trials at Ghost Gaming. Commas also practiced with the team for this position, a player who's yet to be signed. So interesting stuff. We saw the other day Gen.G, could they be looking for an option? Ghost Gaming, apparently, that was a new player will likely replace Ryan supposedly on the roster right here. But seemingly an update came through from that not too long after this article goes live. As Purist says, Eccles did in fact trial with Ghost, but things that did not work out. Will be interesting to see whether he pursues offers in EU or NA, or in both regions. So certainly both regions seem viable for Eccles. He does go on to tweet out this actually last night, flying back home to the UK. The US was fun and exciting journey. I met great people and learnt some lessons. Did not go as I'd hoped, but that's life. We go again the next day. See you all back in the server soon. So we'll see what this means exactly, right? He's going back to the UK. I guess, yeah, I don't know how long his visa would last actually, right? Because I guess 100 Thieves had to sort him the visa, and then 12 days after they do their announcement video, he's dropped off the roster. So he's back in the UK for now. Probably he could still join a North American team if he wanted to, if it worked out for them. Ghost Gaming apparently didn't go the right way, so we'll see what happens in Europe. But yeah, interesting to see this guy's progression, just because it was a tough time, right? Not a real good look for 100 Thieves. Picking up a guy like this, bringing him all the way over from the UK, and then dropping him on his neck like 2 weeks later. So hopefully things work out for Eccles. Let's dive into this TenZ discussion then, because after their loss a couple of days ago to Optic, TenZ didn't have his greatest performance, and there was a lot of talk about, okay, yeah, Sentinels getting a bit too stagnant in terms of the way they play the game. They're relying too much on individual plays, and got just tactically outplayed by Optic in this series that they lost. And TenZ individually didn't have the greatest series we've seen from him, and we kind of expect from him at this point, with the incredible and, clearly still incredible raw aim and mechanical ability that he does possess. Now, look, if we look at this series right here, it goes 2-1 in favor of Optic. Now, look, stats-wise doesn't look particularly good, but of course TenZ is on the Jett, right? That's the thing, and no Jett was even used on the Optic side. This is something that really a lot of teams as of late have been developing the meta, right? Like pretty much every single week, the meta is changing to some degree, like Chambers being used an awful lot at the moment, even dapr used it on one of the maps, Ye was using it across the series as well. I even saw Heat as well, a Brazilian player. He pretty much just only used Jett his entire career, and a couple of days ago was the first time ever he used Chamber. So, some teams are trying to switch things up, using agents that can also work in a similar role, but TenZ is pretty much stuck to the Jett forever at this point, and some people are certainly suggesting, is it about time he switches things up? Because the meta is evolving. Like, is Jett always necessary on every single map? Arguably not at this point. A lot of teams are doing without it and finding ways to counter it and make plays work even better without Jett on the team. Of course, look, if TenZ doesn't use Jett, is he significantly worse with other agents? Can he still have the same impact? Like, that is a question that is being raised, but whether Sentinels are kind of still stuck in a way of, well, playing Valorant how it used to be played several months ago, like, and maybe that's what's causing them in their issues. We can even see right now, if we look at the overall rankings in the world here at VLR.GG, we find that Cloud9 and then Optic Gaming are technically now number 1, number 2. After that loss for Sentinels to Optic Gaming, they've actually been overtaken as the second best team. So it was not too long ago where Sentinels were number 1. After Cloud9's performance at Champions, they became number 1, and then now Optic are even number 2, right? And Exit aren't too far behind Sentinels. So definitely in terms of rankings, they've fallen off quite significantly from being the clear-cut number 1 NA team not all that long ago. And I mean, if we look at this from the TenZ front as well in terms of his recent performances, yes, nice KD over the last 90 days or so, last 30 days, last 60 days, last 90 days. All you're going to see here, right, is the use of the Jett. If you go to all time, you'll see that, well, 61.3% of the time it was Jett. A while ago, like Reyna and Raze were also used as well. So possible, and we see even Yoru in a couple of games right here. So maybe when Yoru returns, if it comes into the meta, that's what TenZ is going to use. But I'll share ShahZaM's thoughts on this, right, because a lot of people were saying, look, hang on a second, TenZ is just way too one-dimensional. And ShahZaM was saying, look, it's not just because he can only use one agent, but that's just, well, how we prefer to play.
Refuse to play anything. Tyson will literally play anything we ask him to. I don't understand why people think they understand how a team works. They say he's a one-trick this, you need to learn this, bro. Tyson literally will play anything we ask him to. Like you, Shaz, you gotta convince them to get good on Raze, bro. It's not just that. Bro, we want Fracture because he's one trick. No, he's not, dude. You just don't know what you're talking about. Dark Canadian, thanks for 19 months. So in this clip, I say that it's not that Tyson refuses to play any agent. He'll play any agent we want, right? And this Reddit thread became a whole circle jerk of people saying how, like, oh, it's not that Tyson refuses to play. It's nobody's. No, I don't think anyone's arguing that TenZ willing to play an agent. It's whether or not he can similar level to his Jett, right?
You know that? You're an absolute chap.
In the clip, I'm literally responding to someone saying, why does TenZ refuse to play any agent but Jett? That's the whole point of the clip. The whole thing that was taken out of context, I'm responding to someone that says, why does TenZ refuse to play any agent but Jett? And you see how it's taken out of context and now it becomes a circle jerk about the issue isn't TenZ refusing to play any other agent. Do you know what I'm saying though?
So maybe something Sentinels need to think about as time progresses, right? Of course, ShahZaM understandably frustrated with how things that seemingly got taken out of context, right? But at the end of the day, people were talking about TenZ and ShahZaM had the word to say to defend his teammate, right? Which is, of course, understandable. But, you know, maybe Sentinels, just the way things are currently going, they need to think about the future there. This also, right, from Optic Yay, and there was definitely some thoughts about what the future of this kind of agent meta is going to be, because Yoru coming into play again as well, like, and Reyna right now, at least in the professional side, is pretty much irrelevant, as Yay says. Reyna's low-key going to become the next Phoenix if she's not already. Just no good reason to run her versus the alternative right now, the skies of the world and this type of stuff, just with the great flashes and all of this. Feels like another agent in Reyna that, at least on the professional side, is certainly going out of fashion. Now, I mean, well, this does mean is in the long term, right, are we right, going to have to think about, okay, how do we balance these agents, right? Because Yoru, not used for a long time, now gets this major overhaul. Seems like he might come back into the meta. Phoenix as well, an agent which has basically never seen at all. So, well, maybe Reyna will go down a similar route. Probably might be quite some time before any changes come into effect. This also, just to mention real quick before we close out the video, some talk about the 5-week format, because, well, as Ghost Kaplan says, and Vanity kind of agrees with, that, you know, teams actually get the chance to develop way more in terms of strategy, and that the compositions, right, they can change week to week. The meta grows and shifts faster because of it, emphasizes the value of a teams having very wide agent pools and having coaching staff who help teams cook up new protocols very quickly indeed. That's the thing, the teams that are going to do the best over the course of these 5-week formats, you're not just playing like all 5 games in one weekends, where everything is basically the same. You have time to counter strat and see what the opposition did and prepare things for your opposition. As Vanity says as well, longer gap between the games allows for teams to develop way more throughout the season and prep for matches. I'm a big fan of it. I also enjoy the aspect of having matches to watch on certain days versus just having an entire week off games. So yeah, this may be another thing really that's kind of a holding Sentinels back. They win their first 2 matches, they go 2-0, but over time, the other teams in their pool are developing ways to, okay, like we know what Sentinels are going to do. They're so easy to read in terms of how they play the game. So we can prepare for them very nicely indeed and create our own agent compositions that are going to counter what Sentinels are going to come up with. So maybe that's kind of one of the reasons why they're seemingly falling a little bit off the pace right here the last couple of weeks or so, but definitely intrigued to your perspective in the comment section below. And just this from Bang as well on the CT side of Icebox. Very nice play here with the grapple. Just comes straight in with the Jett, pops the 5-piece. Like, yeah, not too bad at the end of the day. Some people are already saying, look, this guy straight up joined 100 Thieves, and he's already the best player on the team. But very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit it on the like button. Tell us a YouTube god, does a good video, and does like you should see it as well. And upgrade the competitive Valorant community. Thank you watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time. Got one back of sight. Not on planted. Got a guy that planted. Really close left. Oh my god.
Nice, baby.
Last guy. I don't know. Maybe mid. Oh my god, that was disgusting. 3 headshots and the first kill as well. That's why we get the Marshall, baby. 950 for that.